information, education, and motivation. Real life, real topics. Welcome to Cayman Conversations, now streaming on Cayman Times, Facebook and YouTube channels, and also live on Bobo FM 89.1. We do believe that Parliament plays an integral role in our daily lives, and so for the next 30 minutes, we will broadcast today's Parliament meeting already in session until 1 p.m., where we'll switch gears and speak with our guest, Amber Kong, from the family we so. Now over to Parliament.
Good morning, members. This morning we will be graced with prayers by the member for Georgetown South.
Good morning. Let us pray. Almighty God, from whom all wisdom and power are derived, we beseech thee so to direct and prosper the deliberations of the Parliament now assembled, that all things may be ordered upon the best and surest foundations for the glory of thy name and for the safety, honor, and welfare of the people of these islands. Bless our sovereign, King Charles III, William, Prince of Wales, and all the royal family. Give grace to all who exercise authority to our Commonwealth, that peace and happiness, truth and justice, religion and piety may be established among us. Especially, we pray for the Governor of our islands, the Premier, the Speaker of the Parliament, the Leader of the Opposition, Ministers of the Cabinet, ex officio members, members of the Parliament, the Chief Justice, and members of the judiciary, that we may be enabled faithfully to perform the responsible duties of our high office. All this we ask for thy sake, for thy great name's sake. Let us say the Lord's Prayer together. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. The Lord bless us and keep us. The Lord make his face shine upon us and be gracious unto us. The Lord lift up the light of his countenance upon us and give us peace now and always. Amen.
Please be seated. Proceedings are now resumed.
Administration of oaths or affirmations.
None.
Reading by the Honorable Speaker of Messages and Announcements.
I have received apologies from the Minister of Tourism and Ports, who is off island on official business.
Presentation of petitions.
None.
Presentation of papers and of reports. Request to the Finance Committee for appropriation changes sought under Section 12 of the Public Management and Finance Act 2020 revision for the year ending 31st December 2023, prepared in accordance with Section 12 of the Public Management and Finance Act 2020 revision, to be laid on the table by the Honorable Premier, Chairman of the Finance Committee.
The Honorable Premier.
Madam Speaker, thank you. I beg to lay 2023.
Does the Honorable Premier wish to speak thereto?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Just briefly, in accordance with Standing Order 67-1, the request to Finance Committee for appropriation changes sought under Section 12 of the Public Management and Finance Act 2020 revision for the, I should have given this to you. Thank you for permission, Madam Speaker. For the year ending 31st December 2023 document has just been tabled and stands referred to Finance Committee, and therefore I do not need to expound further as it will be addressed in Finance Committee. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Report of the Standing Business Committee, third meeting of the 2022-2023 session of the Cayman Islands Parliament, to be laid on the table by the Honorable Premier, Chairman of Standing Business Committee.
The Honorable Premier.
Table of this Honourable House, a report of the Standing Business Committee of the House in respect to the third meeting of the 2022-2023 session of the Cayman Islands Parliament.
Does the Honorable Premier wish to speak thereto?
No, thank you, Madam Speaker.
Cayman Islands Government Plan and Estimates, first supplementary plan and estimates for the financial year, 1st January 2022 to 31st December 2022, to be laid on the table by the Honorable Premier, Minister of Sustainability and Climate Resiliency.
The Honorable Premier.
Beg to lay on the table of this Honourable House the 2022 supplementary plan and estimates for the Government of the Cayman Islands for its fiscal year ended 31st December 2022.
Does the Honorable Premier wish to speak thereto?
In accordance with Standing Order 67-1, the 2022 supplementary plan and estimates document that you've just given permission to lay on the table stands referred to Finance Committee. As the estimates will be considered in Finance Committee at the conclusion of the second reading of the associated supplementary appropriation bill that is on the order paper today, Madam Speaker, I will only make brief remarks with respect to the tabled document. Madam Speaker, the 2022 supplementary plan and estimates document is structured in the following way. Section A of the document shows in respect of the specific appropriations being changed the following information. Firstly, the amount of the original approved appropriation for a particular budget item. Secondly, the amount of the supplementary appropriation proposed for the particular budget item. And lastly, the revised end-of-year appropriation amount for the particular budget item. Madam Speaker, Section B of the document shows the unaudited financial statements for the financial year ended 31st December 2022. Madam Speaker, honourable members should use the supplementary plan and estimates as a document which provides more information to each of the items in the schedule to the supplementary appropriations bill for the 2022 financial year. Again, as will be dealt with later today on the order paper. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Madam Speaker,
Member for West
to
US.
clarify an understanding, when will we get the estimates that might be coming today to Finance Committee? When will we see them?
Honorable Premier.
Madam Speaker, I'm not sure which particular estimates the member is referring to, but we have the supplementary plan and estimates in respect of the 2020 related appropriation bill to effectively tidy up the 2022 financial year. And then we have tabled already the requests in respect of Section 12 requests to be considered by Finance Committee, which relate to this current year, the 2023 financial year. So I'm not sure whether the member is referring to.
I'm talking about, Madam Speaker, the supplementary plan. We are expected to go to Finance Committee and today, and that's what I'm asking to see, because I wouldn't know what's coming before us until we get it. I don't have a copy. If there is a copy, then I would like to get that, or some plan.
Honorable Premier, did members not receive a copy of the plan and estimates? Is that what the member is referring to?
Thank you, Madam. Estimates, which is titled the first supplementary plan and estimates. I just want to confirm that there is no intention to have any other version of the plan and estimates for the 2022 financial year, but this was distributed to members quite some time ago, Madam Speaker. I think it must be at least 6 weeks, 5 or 6 weeks.
Madam Speaker,
sometime in April.
I don't know what the Premier is talking about. I didn't get any. I don't know if any other member got any, but I just got it from the Sarge or Deputy Sarge. I just got it, and he said they just got it. So finally, I got mine, but I didn't get it till now.
Madam Speaker, just for the member from West Bay's benefit, I think all members of this honourable House will have received a copy of this electronically with a business paper distributed by the staff of Parliament. I agree that he would not have necessarily had a hard copy delivered to him, but it would have been delivered electronically, as is typical.
Speaker, I have long complained about these big documents being sent on our phone or a computer somewhere which has to go to Miami, then go to the Foreign Office, and then come back to us. Because it must be something else is happening, because I am not getting all these huge emails that they talk about. And we know sometimes, Madam Speaker, and we have to understand these things, that things go awry, they get sent just by a digit sometime, someplace else. Just this week we had a misunderstanding because they said something was sent to me. I know I did not receive it. So they have to be careful, and some of these things need to be delivered by hand.
Honourable Member, as we are trying to move to a modern parliament, most of the members or all of the members receive these documents electronically. If you so wish to have hard copies, we can make a notation so that whenever anything is being distributed, hard copies are prepared aside for you.
Madam Speaker, I don't want anyone to believe that I don't want a modern parliament. Modern to the extent that we can still represent our people. Because all this paper and hidden paper and paper gone somewhere else, we can't really at times know what's going on. And I've said that long time, not just now. I would say that please let me have hard copies. You can send it on, and then it can go to Miami, then it can go to London, then it can come back to me.
Thank you, Honorable Member. For the avoidance of doubt, this was circulated from the Parliament on the 17th of May to all members, but we will ensure that moving forward, you have hard copies. And also the Deputy Premier. And I'm not insinuating that you are not wanting a modern Parliament. We all understand that these changes take a little bit longer for some people to adopt to.
Ministry of Education, Cayman Islands Government, Annual Report 2022, a synopsis of our achievements and financial statements to be laid on the table by the Honorable Deputy Premier, Minister of Education.
The Honorable Deputy Premier.
Morning. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I beg to lay on the floor of this Honourable Parliament the report for the Minister of Education, Cayman Islands Government for 2022 is our annual report, a synopsis of our achievements and financial statement.
Does the Deputy Premier wish to speak there too?
No, Madam Speaker, thank you. It's self-explanatory, in the interest of time.
Thank you.
Ministry of Investment, Innovation and Social Development, Cayman Islands Government, Annual Report 2021 to be laid on the table by the Honorable Minister of Investment, Innovation and Social Development.
The Honorable Minister of Investment, Innovation and Social Development.
Morning, Madam Speaker. I rise and I beg to lay on the table of this Honorable House the annual report for the financial year ended 2020 for the Ministry of Investment, Innovation and Social Development.
Does the Honorable Minister wish to speak there too?
No, thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Cayman Islands Law Reform Commission Annual Report number 18, 1st of April 2022, 31st of March 2023, to be laid on the table by the Honorable Attorney General, ex officio member responsible for the portfolio of legal affairs.
The Honorable Attorney General.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I seek the leave of the House to lay on the table the Cayman Islands Law Reform Commission report for the period 1st April 2022 to 31st March 2023.
Does the Honorable Attorney General wish to speak there too?
Madam Speaker, yes, just to highlight some of the work of the commission, if I may. Thanks. So, Madam Speaker, the commission's mandate as set out under the Law Reform Commission Act is, among other things, to study and review all the acts of the Cayman Islands with a view to informing their systematic development and reform. To achieve this, Madam Speaker, the work of the Commission is continuous in nature and is marked by comprehensive research, deep analysis, and thoroughly considered recommendations. These recommendations, Madam Speaker, seek to inform government by presenting issues in a clear and objective manner. Madam Speaker, the membership of the Commission comprises of 6 commissioners who perform their role on a part-time basis and 4 full-time members of staff. The current commissioners are the Honorable Mr. Hector Robinson, Queen's Counsel, or KC, King's Counsel Chairman. The Honorable Mr. Justice Alexander Henderson, retired judge and King's Counsel. Mr. Vaughn Carter, Attorney at Law. Mr. Abraham Topple, Attorney at Law. Solicitor General, Ms. Reshma Sharma, and the Director of Public Prosecution, Mr. Simon Davis, by virtue of office. Madam Speaker, the legal and administrative staff of the Commission are Mr. Jose Griffith, who is the Director, Ms. Catriona Steele, who is a Senior Legislative Counsel, Ms. Felicia Connor, who is paralegal, and Ms. Melissa Bodden, who is also one of the our administrative secretary. Madam Speaker, during the 2022-23 reporting period, the Commission continued its work on a range of subject areas. Of note, Madam Speaker, is that the Commission submitted for the AG's consideration 3 final reports, each supported by draft legislation. The report, Madam Speaker, or the reports are one dealing with usury. The title of it is Usury, the Common Law and Statutory Position in the Cayman Islands. And Madam Speaker, for the benefit of members and the public, usury general definition is the practice or action of lending money at unreasonably high interest rate. It's called usury. And so, Madam Speaker, the Commission examines whether any prohibition against usury exists in the Cayman Islands, whether at common law or by statute or both, and have recommended enacting legislation to provide some clarity in this area. The examination, Madam Speaker, and this issue came against the background of questions being raised by, among others, legal practitioners querying whether there are any usury law in the Cayman Islands. And the Commission's report therefore served to advance legal clarity on the issue. Madam Speaker, one of the reports also looked at the penal code and the extent of its compatibility with the Bill of Rights. And just to say, Madam Speaker, that's understandably important. The penal code plays a fundamental role in defining the rules governing some of our most important relationships as a society. Madam Speaker, there is also a report done by the Commission entitled Appeals Tribunals, and it recommends establishing a centralized administrative appeals tribunal to replace the majority of existing appeals tribunals. Madam Speaker, the international trend towards consolidating tribunals reflects a view that the practice of establishing tribunals on an ad hoc basis has led to a system that is overly complex and inaccessible, resulting in suboptimal outcomes for users. So through its research and consultation, Madam Speaker, the Commission formed the view that the Cayman Islands has the opportunity to improve access to justice and increase accountability in administrative decision-making by creating a well-resourced and professionally operated centralized tribunal. The recommended model is designed to provide a consistent, high-quality appeals process, while, Madam Speaker, ensuring that the system is not burdened by the formality of complexity of court procedures. Madam Speaker, moving on, it is with pleasure that I report that during the reporting period, the law reform recommendations resulted in significant legislation being progressed through this Parliament for implementation. The final reports respectively titled Regulation of Queen's Evidence, Immunity from Prosecution, Restricted Use Undertakings and Reduced Sentences, Contempt of Court, and bullying legislation policy or both, culminated in the enactment of the Criminal Justice Offenders Assisting Investigations and Prosecutions Act 2022, also the Contempt of Court Act 2022, and the Penal Code Amendment Act 2022, as well as the Education Amendment Act 2022, and the making, Madam Speaker, of the Anti-Bullying Schools Regulations 2022. Madam Speaker, just to touch on the Education Amendment Act 2022, it introduced a requirement for every school to have a written anti-bullying policy and empowered cabinet, Madam Speaker, to make regulations specifying the matters to be included in such a policy. The resulting anti-bullying school regulations 2022 specify a range of matters to be included in an anti-bullying policy, such as prevention, reporting, investigation, and disciplinary procedures. Madam Speaker, it is gratifying to see the work of the Commission over many years of research, consultations, and deliberation culminate in the passage of these laws. Madam Speaker, the other projects the Commission, Madam Speaker, the other projects of the Commission, all of which are at different stages of the law reform process, include a review of the Settled Land Act, the 1998 revision, a review of consumer protection legislation, reform of Defamation Act, severance of joint tenancies, reform of the Succession Act. They're looking at the issue of cremation, jury trial, hate speech, and the common law forfeiture rule. Madam Speaker, to further its goal of enhancing outreach to members of the public, organizations, and professional bodies, the Commission launched its presence on a number of social media platforms during the reporting period. The Commission can now be found on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. These platforms will enhance public awareness of the Commission's work and engagement with the law reform process. The Commission aims to continuously widen its research and to improve meaningful engagement with the community, as public consultation, Madam Speaker, is a key aspect of the law reforms process. In closing, Madam Speaker, the approach of the Commission in the next reporting period will be to continue its mission of systematic development and reform of our legislation, as it seeks to stimulate reflection on the laws in our society and make sound recommendations which inform the required legislative reforms. Madam Speaker, I would like to thank the commissioners and the staff of the Commission for their excellent work over the years, and particularly during this reporting period. And so, Madam Speaker, with that, I commend to this Parliament for consideration the 18th Annual Report of the Law Reform Commission. I thank you.
Welcome back to Cayman Conversations. Just a little snippet of what happens in Parliament. And before we cut off, we heard from the Honorable Attorney General Sam Bulgin. We encourage our listeners to tune in every time we have a Parliament session, because the information that you hear is so invaluable. Now on to our next conversation. While many people are aware that May was Child Month, the Family Resource Center also observes Teen Pregnancy Prevention Month annually during the month of May. The Teen Pregnancy Prevention Campaign is aimed at providing education across various platforms to empower parents and teenagers. Welcome Amber to talk about this important topic. Good afternoon, Amber, and welcome to Cayman Conversation.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear. Go right ahead.
Hi, thank you so much for having me on. So hello, everybody. My name is Amber Calm, and I am a parenting practitioner at the Family Resource Center. I work with families and to improve family life. And just as you said, for the month of May, we observed teen pregnancy prevention. That is our campaign that we've tokened I Am Worth the Wait, or Worth the Wait. So we do a lot of workshops in schools, a lot of, information sessions, just to get the word out and empower families and teenagers to make smart decisions, especially during this month of May. Right?
Okay, and that's great. And I'm so happy to be able to talk to you, because it's something that we tend not to want to talk about, teen pregnancy. When I told one of my staff that I was going to be talking about it today, they said, "Okay, is it up or down?" And so we want to get into some of these details, but maybe later on. So that's what's the title?
So I am a parenting practitioner, meaning I work with individuals, families to improve family life. So say, for instance, you have a child experiencing, challenging, or they're demonstrating challenging behaviors. I may work with that family on a one-to-one basis. I also facilitate a number of groups. One of the groups I facilitate or I lead is our young parent services. And that program caters to young persons, young parents between the ages of 13 to 25. And it's very structured. We support those individuals with parenting skills to enhance their parenting skills. We also look at their employability and enhance those skills. And then we also have a component called Interstate, where they pretty much just reflect on their own journeys. And it's looking at things like relationships, their self-worth, their values, all those sort of things. So I'm also the chairperson for the Teen Pregnancy Prevention Campaign. So I have a team within the Family Resource Center who we meet regularly throughout leading up to the month of May. And we just kind of see where is there a need, what is a population that we can go and work with to ensure that we're empowering these young people or even parents to encourage their children to make smart decisions, right? That are not going to have these negative long-term effects, right? So I'm a parenting practitioner, and that is just kind of very surface level, but there's so much that I do and the Family Resource Center does. So even though, we're in the schools, we're doing presentations, we're doing workshops with parents, if you are a parent and you kind of have thought, well, I don't know how to talk to my child about this topic, it is something that we encourage regular discussions about. It's not just a one-time, oh, birds and the bees big discussion, right? It's about planting the seeds in an age-appropriate manner from a very young age and continuing on with that discussion throughout the years. So we're just trying to encourage parents to do that. And if you need help, that's what we're here for. We're the professionals. We have, information from reliable medical professionals and whatnot that we've been presenting on, so we can kind of hold your hand and say, hey, this is how you go about having this discussion, right?
Okay, great. Tell us a little bit more about the campaign that just completed. Was it one-on-one, or was it group sessions, or were you on
Yeah.
social media,
So
or were you on radio?
most definitely, I'm so happy to speak about it because I feel this May, so our Worth the Wait Teen Pregnancy Prevention Campaign, it's something we've done for over 10 years now. I believe we're in our 11th or 12th year. And this year we were able to get into the Francis Bawden Children's Home. We're doing sessions in there. We've gone into a number of schools and presented the workshop in there. It's a 6-week workshop that we've been in. We've covered a number of different topics. We start off just talking about your values and your self-worth, right? And it's a really, I think the example. Hello?
Go right ahead.
Are you able to hear me? Yes, sir. So we start off talking about your self-worth and values. And when we're thinking about like the value you apply to yourself, I always think about water in Cayman, right? So say for instance, you go to one of the priced right or cost you less where you can buy things in bulk, you can get water for relatively cheap, right? Perhaps you can buy a case and in each bottle may be like maybe 70 cents or whatever the value would be there. Then you may go to a corner store. Maybe here on Mary Street where we're working, we have a little corner store. I go in there and I can buy the same bottle of water for $1.10, right?
Yes.
Then when I go to Camana Bay and I go to watch a movie, the same bottle of Aquafina water may be $5, right? And it's just all depending on where that bottle of water is, the value is assigned differently, right? So I use, whenever I'm working with young students, I tell them about that, that's example. And they're like, I pretty much make them relate to that. You are like that bottle of water. Depending on where you are, people are going to value you differently, and you have to be mindful as to what environment you're placing yourself in and what the value is assigned to you, and also apply a higher value to yourself, right? So it's very empowering when we go in, and then we just start off with that, and then we go into reflecting on relationships with like your family members and how the impact that has had on you, and just observing, what do healthy relationships look like? What do unhealthy relationships look like, right? Because we know not everybody gets to benefit from a family environment that's healthy, right? And just bringing awareness to that, because sometimes when you see something or you've been in something for so long, it may not necessarily be healthy. And if that's not challenged, and if you're not shown that this is the correct way and this is what a healthy relationship looks like, then that unhealthy relationship becomes a norm, right? And then when you have these unhealthy relationships and you don't value yourself very much, you're then falling into certain peer pressures and you're led astray. And then that's when we start to see things like, teenage pregnancy, because you made a poor decision trying to find validation or trying to seek love, right? So just really empowering students to value themselves and really, make sure that they have high self-worth.
Yes. It's very interesting, very interesting. I have a question about the society. As you know, the Cayman Islands has been sort of conservative. And do you feel it difficult to speak about this topic generally in the society when you make presentations? Or do you
Yeah,
feel it is welcomed and it's embraced?
most definitely. It is difficult to speak to persons. Another thing that we had planned for the month of May, we planned a talk early, talk often parent evening, and we did have some registrants, but unfortunately, it wasn't as highly taken up as we would have hoped. So it is something that is it is a taboo topic to be talking about sex to children, and it's not. I just want to ensure that all viewers understand we are not encouraging any sort of early sexual engagement or anything. It is a case of empowering young persons and parents of young persons to make sure that you're developing your sexuality in a healthy manner. So it's not a case of if they need to know this information, you can present this in an age appropriate manner, and but of course it's when you're getting older, when you're above the age, when you're at the age to consent and older
Yes.
than that, it's whenever you do choose to engage in those acts, you're making smart decisions then, right?
Yes.
So I always say, every time I do a presentation on the topic, I always say it's not a case of if you need to speak to your children about it or if your children need to know this information, it is when. Because it's natural, it is all a healthy part of developing as an adult, as a young adult. Everyone, you will develop some form of sexuality. Sex is a normal part of life. Even when we're looking at research, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with Maslow's hierarchy of needs, but it
Yes.
pretty much just it's a hierarchy which looks at the foundation is pretty much just your basic needs, right? And you're looking at things like food, water, and sex is a part of that, right? If we did not engage in sexual acts or have sex, then there would be no more life to go on, right? So it is something that's very normal. And I always say it's not a case of if you need to have this information, it is
Yes.
when you need to have the information. So we try as best as possible to engage the community, but it is something that is still quite taboo, and we're trying to break the taboo and help parents understand, and also other persons who interact with kids understand that it is something that we do need to have these discussions. And it is quite difficult, but we're still making some headway, and I think we're becoming more a little more liberal, but there's still some improvements to be made, and some persons can definitely have a little bit more of a change in mindset, but we're making progress.
Yes. And just to just jump in here, because I know you have a lot of stuff to talk though about,
Yeah,
but we
and
believe
please
that
jump in. I'm very wordy, and I think it's because I'm very passionate about
yes,
the topic, and it is because of my experience. Like I said, I do head up the Young Parent Services, and I know we'll speak about it in a bit more depth later on. But having a child before you're ready, whether you're an adult or what, it is very difficult, and I can talk a bit more about those impacts.
yes. And what I would like to say at this point is that what you rightly said. This information is not available, readily available, or communicated. And as a media owner myself, I want to make sure that we offer our opportunities to educate everyone, not only the girls, but the boys and the parents, because we find in small societies that a lot of things are taboo and they're hidden. But times have changed now. And whereas there are many other things that we talk about, we should take time to talk about these topics that are affecting our lives And education
Mhm.
is the key to success. So I
Yeah,
encourage
definitely.
education, and I think we need to have these conversations over and over again. That's why when I
Most
record these, I play
definitely.
them over and over again so people really hear it. And that's how we learn. When you
Yeah.
study and you repeat over and over again, that's how you get better. And so therefore
Yep.
I applaud you. I admire your
Mhm.
passion, and there's so much we need to get out there. So
Mhm.
let's get back into the
Yeah.
conversation.
Can
Yes.
I also
Um,
add, so another, it's just because it is very true, it takes two to tango. And yes, we are targeting young ladies. We've, done small workshops with very vulnerable young women. But we also do target young men. And something that I feel really proud to boast is that the Family Resource Center just piloted a new program within the Clifton Hunter High School, and hopefully we'll be able to take it to other high schools, but it's specific to young men. The program is called Choices, and it's pretty much it's an evidence-based program where it targets, the choices that boys make as well, and that's relationships, how they view themselves, the choices that they're going to make, how they're going to plan out for the future, those sort of things. And we also did do teen pregnancy prevention content during that Choices program. So it was very well received. I do believe they did 10 weeks of that within Clifton Hunter. And I think that's something that we'll definitely be addressing in other schools going forward. So it's not a case of we're trying to capture as many persons as we can, right? But of course, during the month of May, there's only so much you can do. So we do try to also do things like our early talk often. We've done that on the web, and that should be on our Facebook page, the Zoom recording of that. But like I said, if there's ever any questions that a parent may have, they can always just connect with us. It's very easy to do a referral for the Family Resource Center. You can go online, and it's just a very quick form. And, we're able to provide you with that reliable information as well to speak with your teenage daughter or son.
how has the feedback been during the campaign to those people that you've reached out to? Give us an idea of what they've sent to you or how they accept this information.
Mhm. Okay, so there have been the populations that we have worked with predominantly throughout the campaign. We've gone into one of the primary schools, and they were very, very appreciative. Of course, we presented in age appropriate manner. This was to a year 6 class, and they were very, very appreciative, and they understood why we were in there. They didn't want us to leave. They were like, "Miss, are you gonna come back when we're in high school?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, no problem." But we also, like I said, we worked with those very risky, that risky population of young people as well. One of the alternative education units, I did a 6 week. It was more so like an 8 week course because we broke it down in there. But they were super, super appreciative, very well received on the students' part. I just wish that we did want to do something with the parents, but again, like you had you asked the question before, is it hard to speak to other persons about it, like
Yes.
adults, the parents?
Yeah.
It is quite hard, and there is some resistance. So that I guess that would be like the feedback that we've gotten. It's not that it's completely absent, but it isn't as much as we would like. And so I think in the future, what we would love to do is just normalize that, hey, this is a normal part of life, and hey, this is really a conversation that you should be having regularly.
And what you said just makes sense. You will get more, it'll be more receptive to the younger folks because their
Yes.
minds are open. They want to learn as much as they
Yes.
can, and
Mm-hmm.
it's up to us to put the right things in front of them or what we
Mm-hmm.
consider right, so they can learn those as well because they
Yeah.
will tune in on
Mm-hmm.
Facebook, on social media, and
Yeah.
they'll
And
pick
they
up
were,
everything. So
yeah.
it is only important, and the parents or the older folks have not been exposed as much as they have been at their age. They might see it
Mm-hmm.
differently. And so
Yeah.
it's sort of a mindset and a culture that you will have to work with and, try and over time get
Yeah.
them to
Yeah.
buy into
And
what we're trying to do. Yeah.
yeah, when I have worked with parents, I tell them, this is the reality is, as a parent, yes, you parent the way that you were parented for the majority of the time, right? But as a parent, you have a certain toolbox. And what I always encourage parents to identify is you're parenting in a different time than when you were raised, right? So you can always add tools to your toolbox. Yeah. And the reality is your children are going to be talking about it, or they're going to be hearing about it from friends. So you should be ensuring that whatever information they have when it comes to sexuality is reliable, accurate information, not, tiptoeing around the topic, and then your child is getting false information from their friend, or maybe their friend did something and it's not, this didn't happen to the friend, so they feel like this is normal. And it's really interesting. Whenever I go into the schools, sometimes I start off with a little true or false game, just making it interactive, engaging the students, making it fun, and making it so that they want to come into the session. They feel like this is a safe space, building that rapport. And whenever we're doing the true and false, it really shocks me to hear how many false or how many they get incorrectly, So it just kind of shows, or it's evidence that the accurate sex or sex education is perhaps, I wouldn't say lacking, but needs to be, increased,
Yes,
because
there's
I'm not
there's a
entirely.
shortfall, yes, and
Yeah,
it
yeah,
needs to be emphasized more. Yeah. Oh,
yeah. It
I
needs
have a
to be
question.
emphasized more.
Yes, if we can just spend a couple of minutes now talking about the challenges created by teen pregnancies. We're talking about
Yes,
how to educate people about what to do, what they should be doing, but in a society where it exists, how can it impact society, and what
most
are the
definitely.
challenges that this
Most
the number of teen pregnancies have?
Yeah, most definitely. So what I can tell you is since COVID, according to statistics we got from the hospital, there has been an increase in young adult and teen pregnancies, right? That's, fact. Um, I work firsthand with the young, like I said, the young parent services, and some of the impacts that has had is, of course, unemployment, strained family relationships. Some have not finished high school, or they're not motivated to go back and finish high school despite us offering to, support their studies. Um, there could be sometimes domestic violence because, again, you may not have had, you don't have that, maybe that familial support, and you feel forced to stay in a relationship where you have to put up with certain behaviors that are harming you because you don't have anybody else to support you financially or provide you with housing. Lack of housing recently has been a very, very, very big one. We have, some girls are in our program, so there's some young parents in our program that they just don't have that familial support. The family wants them out because of lack of education or lack of qualifications. They're not able to go and work, or maybe they don't have childcare. So it's like this sort of cycle where they're stuck and there's no help for them. And some of them are underage, so they're also not able to access any U at this stage in their life. So it is very, it's very much a struggle for us to be able to
Yes.
support them, because if there's simply just not agencies that are in a position to help them, it's just hard, right? Um, so I think I've covered the main ones. It would be, poverty, lack of housing, underemployment, or even unemployment, domestic violence. I think those are pretty much the main
The
five.
main
Um,
challenges.
yeah.
Okay.
Um, so yeah,
Okay.
that's pretty much it. And then because of those challenges, you then see like that reliance on the government, and it's just a cycle because it's like there's also not enough childcare institutions on island. So even when you get the funding to put your child in childcare, there may not be a space, and because you can't get a space, you're not able to go out and work and build up your work experience. So there's many challenges to it, but of course we're trying to support and empower them as best as we can.
Okay.
But most definitely, it would have to be the unemployment. That's very hard.
Okay. So
Even
there.
right now, for our young parent services, we have a very a very strict, well, somewhat strict criteria when it comes to graduating from our program. That entails we do assessments to just look at their parenting philosophy. We also encourage them to do 10, well, they have to do the 10 hours of community service, and then they go into work experience, and they're expected to do work experience for 6 to 8 weeks. But it's proven difficult for us to even secure some of the internship opportunities because right now students are coming home from university, and when you look at a student who is leaving or is currently studying or pursuing tertiary education, and then you look at a young mom who has a child, and that might prove as a barrier for her to get to work on time or even sometimes come to work if the child is sick. Obviously you're going to choose maybe the school leaver, the college student, so even that is somewhat of a struggle that we've faced. But we do have some good support from a number of businesses or companies, and we're just trying our best to get our girls put into placements.
Yes.
So that's kind of what we're dealing with and what we're trying to support our participants with right now.
Well, I'm happy to see that the Family Resource Center is there, because if there was a Family Resource Center, where would these girls be?
Mhm.
And before I start to ask you about fathers in a minute, is your department big enough to deal with all these challenges that may come up in the near future, or do you or do you think that you
No,
should expand?
yeah, so we are small but mighty. The Family Resource Center only consists of 10 employees, including our clinical supervisor and our program coordinator. So we have 8 parenting practitioners currently. So it is quite challenging, but I mean, we have a manageable caseload. We don't have It's not a case where there's like too many young parents and they're just like not being seen or not able to access services. Everyone that needs to access services, they're welcome to come into the program. We're starting a new cohort in September. So if anybody watching, if you know a young parent who could benefit from improving their parenting skills, their employability skills, and also just working on themselves, please do get in contact with us. It's very easy. Sorry, can you just,
Yes.
what was the
Yeah.
question? I think I
No,
got a little carried away.
I haven't asked. The question was, do you think you have enough staff in your
Oh, yes, yeah.
department to deal
So
with?
yes, when it comes to staffing, yeah, so like I said, we're a small but mighty team. So even the 8 parenting practitioners within the Family Resource Center, there's about 4 of us that are on the Young Parent Services team. Yeah, but we definitely were able to address all client concerns and work one-to-one with any young parent that comes in. But we do work with a lot of other agencies, whether that be our sister agency, the Counseling Center. We make referrals to the Needs Assessment Unit regularly. We're in contact with social workers at the Department of Family Services. So it's very much a multi-agency approach. And yeah, we're here and we act as advocates to ensure that our clients get what they need, right? So even though I noted a number of challenges, maybe it could be lacking basic necessities because of, financial struggles. We're not going to just say, oh, go over there. We're sitting with them. We're filling out the application forms. We're ensuring that these young people get the support that they need.
Okay, very good. All right. Is it easier for mothers to deal with teenage pregnancies than fathers,
Oh,
from your experience?
I no, I would not say. Obviously, it's more taxing on the physical, but of course, like I said, it takes 2 to tango, and we do have young fathers who they also come into the program. And right now, we don't have a large enough number of those in our program to have a group setting, so we service them pretty much on a one-to-one basis. But we're still providing them with that support, and they have a lot of challenges as well. Um, it can be very difficult because, like I said, some of the challenges may be your inability to complete schooling to the expected level. That also affects a young man if
Yes.
he fathers a child before he's ready, and then he has to leave school because he's seeking employment, and because he didn't complete school to the expected level, now he's struggling to find a job or even move up within the workplace, right?
Yes.
So it's equally as hard just trying to provide for a child and gain employment and just make ends meet.
Yeah, so
So we're
teen
still,
pregnancies, yes. It also
yeah,
affects both sides, both the young lady
yeah,
and the young man. But actually, I was
yeah,
looking at
and
the support from the parents, and that's the question. And thank you for giving that answer because I wasn't really going to ask it, but the question was asking in relation to the support, the parents, how do they accept when their teenage children become parents before the time?
yeah. It is a difficult one. It's obviously usually a major shocker, and it can cause that family strain. Um, Usually, it is the participants in our program usually they may lack some family. How would I put it?
Support?
Yeah, they lack the family support, but a lot of the time they're also coming from families that weren't like they weren't healthy functioning families
Yes,
either.
I
So
understand.
it
Yeah.
just kind of further strains that
Yeah.
already established strain,
Okay. Yeah.
right?
Yes.
So a lot of the time we'll see, our young parents coming in, they may be
Mhm.
16, 17, and just like lacking that parental figure
Yeah.
already. So I would, to answer your question, I would say that it does create quite a strain, but we do have some parents that, are supportive of their children and are pushing them to still, better themselves. We have some persons in our program that are in college, and we see them on a one-to-one basis. So you don't necessarily have to go into the group portion of the program. We can also service you on a one-to-one basis if you are a young parent and you do have a job, but you still want to enhance your parenting skills. So yeah, we definitely have, I would say it's a mix. Obviously, it is something when it's unexpected and you're encouraging your child to make healthy choices that are not going to be detrimental to their future. It can be something that really causes a strain on the relationship and sometimes even the breakdown of that parent-child relationship. But for the most part, I would say it's definitely a mix. You see some parents who are supportive, some who are just like, that was so disappointing. I just don't want any part of it.
And I always believe in let's to focus on the solution. Yes, there are challenges here, and this will happen
Mhm.
because it will happen.
Yeah.
It's something that happens, and like we mentioned, we are here because our parents came together. So these things will happen. But how does the community deal with these issues? Everything can fall on the government and your family resource center. But if we can encourage some of the parents, family, churches to get involved in this challenge and to care for these young kids who have made bad choices, at least they can learn something and it will send the positive message. So we're looking at solutions to deal with this issue that exists today. And so therefore, I want you to just give me a bit of your thoughts on how can the community come together and help deal with this challenge that your department is tasked with dealing with.
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, I must say that we are always appreciative of donations. We have a donation pantry here to ensure that none of our young parents, and especially the babies that come into our agency, they go without anything. So we have Pampers, wipes, medication, baby food. When it comes to interacting with us, but overall, the community can just be, very supportive and empower young people who have children at a young age. Because, like I said, the real struggles would be not being able to access work, right?
Yes.
So recognizing, hey, this person, it's already difficult for this person. Let me not make it more difficult for them, right? Recognizing that, okay, this person, yes, has a child, rather than them not being able to work, not being able to gain that work experience and move themselves up the ladder. Let me provide them with an opportunity. Because if not, then all you're going to see is reliance on the government and whatnot, right? A number of people unable to get work, and then they have to go to the needs assessment unit. So definitely providing them with opportunities, but also being that person that a young person could perhaps go and confide in, and making sure that you're open-minded and and in a position where somebody can come to you and say, hey, this is difficult, I need help, anything like that, just being very open-minded. A part of our program as well is we are encouraging our young parents to access mentorship, because we do recognize, like I said, some of them come from families that weren't functioning in a healthy manner. They might have been exposed to domestic violence, or being raised in a single parent household where they weren't able to benefit from a healthy parent-child relationship. So we're trying to set them up and really benefit from mentorship. So accessing a partner agency like Big Brothers Big Sisters now, that those are the sort of things that we're trying to do. So when it comes to encouraging the community to support our young parents, it would definitely be providing them with that opportunity and being a listening ear, being a mentor, and empowering them and helping them realize that, hey, okay, this is something that this is a choice you made, and this is a consequence of your choice. However, that doesn't mean that you're not able to do certain things, right? So, okay, maybe I, as a teenager, 13-year-old, I thought, okay, I want to become a lawyer. Yes, now that I have a child, that may be off the table for me right now, but it doesn't mean that it's impossible, right? I just need more support, and that's where the community comes in, right? To provide those opportunities and to really push you to be able to fulfill your goals.
If there are some commercial entities that heard this conversation and would like to, provide some kind of support, can they reach out to the Farm Resource Center with their donations or assistance or guidance, or maybe they have employees? Can they reach out to you directly?
Yeah, most definitely. So like our email is the frc@gov.ky. We're best reached by email. Our phone number is 345-949-0006. So just remember the 0006, very easy. And we're also very active on Facebook. We're active on Instagram. Both pages are just Family Resource Center. And we also have our Rethink Parenting radio show that happens every Tuesday at 1 p.m. on Bobo. So that's something that we've been trying to get the word out in other ways as well, right? So that's recorded and uploaded to our Spotify account. It's Rethink Parenting. So yeah, that it's easy to get in contact with us by email or just giving us a quick ring, and we accept donations if they're even if you want to drop them off to our physical location on at 87 Mary Street. We're on the second floor.
Okay, great. Any final words for our listeners, or parents, or young parents, or kids, or school kids, or anyone?
Yeah, so what I would just say is just remember, young people, parents of young people, or even parents of young children, just remember that it is a very important discussion to have over and over. It doesn't have to be, like I said, the one time big talk, birds and the bees talk, or even something that you don't talk about at all, because like I said, it's not a case of if your child needs to know about these things, it's when, because it's all natural. It is a healthy part of development. And just make sure that you're providing your kids with reliable information that they can use throughout life. And please do get in contact if you feel like you need some advice when it comes to, presenting that in an age-appropriate manner.
Okay, very well. Well, I want to thank you, Amber. I have learned so much, and it's been a pleasure to talk to you about this hot topic, or cool topic, or nervous topic. It's a great topic that we should be embracing, and because teen pregnancies affects everyone. It may not be my daughter or son.
It definitely does. It affects
everyone.
It affects everyone. Most definitely. Thank you so much for having me on, Mr. Lewis. We greatly appreciate the platform to be able to speak about what we do and the importance of Teen Pregnancy Prevention Month in May, but just, all year round when it comes to just preventing teen pregnancies, because we know it's not just an effort that we do or we push in May, but it's an all year thing, and we really encourage parents to just keep talking about it.
Okay, very good. And thank you, and I hope to see you again. Would you come back and talk to me in the future? All right. Well, maybe we can get you on here once every 2-3 weeks, because I'm sure we're going to have some questions coming in in our social media page as well. And you could answer those questions too. So thank you very
Yeah.
much, and regards to your team for me. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you so much.
We want to thank you for joining us today, especially Amber, for coming in and just elaborating more on teen pregnancies. It's so important that we understand what's happening in our society. And tomorrow we'll welcome Daniel Coleman, Onisha Richards, and Mr. John Tibbetts to speak about preparation for hurricane season 2023. Cayman Time newspaper is once again a free newspaper in print and online. You can pick up a copy tomorrow and for Friday from gas stations, supermarkets, pharmacies, and many other locations. Remember to like and share and follow Cayman Times social media pages. Cayman Conversations is a production of the Cayman Times newspaper. Have a great evening and now enjoy Cayman music from our local musicians.
Show me what you can do. Show me what you can do. Show me what you can do. You're a neighbors. Class in session now. I hope you're ready to move. It's a dancing session now. I know you're in the mood. Follow, 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 follow the teacher now. Swing towel and follow procedure now. Shake fingers and follow the leader now. James Carey, the soca teacher now. Back it up and push it out and swing it up and bring it back down. Put on your face and match up the place and turn around and roll up your waist and back it up now, push it up now, swing it up and bring it back round and turn around and spin around and slow it down. Class in session now, I hope you're ready to move. It's a dancing session now, I know you're in the mood. Show me what you can do. Show me what you can do. Show me what you can do. You're a nigga. Take time and wine like you have something to prove. Waistline, 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 I like it how you move. Show me what you can do. Show me what you can do. Show me what you can do. Work that A-plus. My girl, come to the front now. Push up your hand now. Show off your work now. Push up your grade now. You teach your class now. Exam time now. Show them your pass now. Yeah. Wine in the grade now. Back it up and push it out and swing it up and bring it back down and put on your face and match up the place and turn around and roll up your waist and back it up now. Push it up now. Swing it up and bring it back down and turn around and spin around and slow it down. Show me what you can do. Show me what you can do. Show me what you can do. You're a nigga. Come to the front now. Push up your hand now. Show off your work now. Push up your grade now. Do justly, love mercy, walk humbly. That's how the world should be. Don't judge a book by a cover until you look under and see just what the pages read. Misunderstood, misconstrued. Don't let your attitude ruin the best of you and me. I just wanna be free to be the best part of me. Don't watch me drown. Show me love when I am down. And now we need equality. Let me tell you about my brother called Ray. Now down here in the islands, Ray is Ray. But back home, his identity, his birthright is out of sight. 'Cause all you see is white light. You never saw the man, You never saw his heart, cause all you ever saw was the black part. I'm a black man, the best you ever known. Let me step up on this microphone and take a seat on my throne. There's other black kings who don't submit to the system and don't need to wear the ring. Power to the people, got my mind on blast. About to take this message to the street, fast like flash. And in the dash we gon' flash, breaking down these barriers to race that's been dwindling our past. I just wanna be free, to be the best part of me. Don't watch me drown. Show me love when I am down. And now we need equality. Our hearts are so deceitful. We don't realize that we're all equal, but everyone's repairable with a gift that's a miracle. There's a crown of great renown in the book that's upside down. So open up the page, dissipate the rage. It's time to engage. It's time to engage. I just wanna be free, to be the best part of me. Don't watch me drown. Show me love when I am down. And now we need equality. Yeah. Talking like, yeah. Let me break it down. Check it out. I don't need to be on top. I just need to be there when the beat gon' drop. Hit me with the music so my feet don't stop. 345, I represent the realest rock. Life is incredible. We be consuming these beats like they edible. Level up. On this track, getting better. Roll like I sing shots, slinging rocks. We gon' let it go. Pop, pop, pop. You better know. I be on top. Yo, pass me the rock. Yeah, never let go, cause the love in your soul gotta burn, gotta glow. Let go. Never 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 let go. Cause we got a country to wake up. Everybody stop, play, wake up. Cause the youth them is wasting. Please can we save them? Come on. We got a country to wake up. Everybody stop, play, wake up. Cause the youth them is wasting. Please can we save them? Come on. We got a country to wake up. Everybody stop, play, wake up. Cause the youth them is wasting. Please can we save them? Come on. Depression may grab at you, try to put you in a chokehold. But this is what happens when life is a savage. It's bound to bring damage, so hold on, never let go. 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 Sometimes I feel low. Sometimes I feel low. Sometimes I feel low. Sometimes I feel low. Sometimes I feel low, and I go. Sometimes I feel low, and I go. Sometimes I feel low, and I go. Sometimes I feel free. I wanna walk away to the fray, though I see a brighter day, you and me. I wanna be happy. I wanna be free. I wanna be happy. I wanna be free. I wanna be happy. I wanna be free. I wanna walk away to the fray, though I see a brighter day, you and me. Sometimes I feel low, and I go. 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 I wanna be happy. I wanna be free. I wanna be happy. I wanna be free. I wanna be happy. I wanna be free. I wanna walk away to the fray, though I see a brighter day, you and me. Sometimes I feel low. 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 Show me what you can do. Show me what you can do. Show me what you can do. You're a neighbors. Class in session now. I hope you're ready to move. It's a dancing session now. I know you're in the mood. Follow the teacher now. Swing towel and follow procedure now. Shake feathers and follow the leader now. James Carey, the soca teacher now. Back it up and push it out and swing it up and bring it back down and put on your face and match up the face and turn around and roll up your waist and back it up now, push it up now, swing it up and bring it back round and turn around and spin around and slow it down. Class in session now, I hope you're ready to move. It's a dancing session now, I know you're in the mood. Show me what you can do. Show me what you can do. Show me what you can do. You're a neighbor. Take time and wine like you have something to prove. Waistline, 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 I like it how you move. Show me what you can do. Show me what you can do. Show me what you can do. Work like a pass now. Exam time now. Show them your pass now. One in the green now. Back it up and push it out and swing it up and bring it back down and put on your face and match up the place and turn around and roll up your waist and back it up now, push it up now, swing it up and bring it back down and turn around and spin around and slow it down. Show me what you can do. Show me what you can do. Show me what you can do. You're a nigga. Come to the front now. Push up your hand now. Show off your work now. Push up your grade now. Do justly, love mercy, walk humbly. That's how the world should be. Don't judge a book by a cover until you look under and see just what the pages read. Misunderstood, misconstrued. Don't let your attitude ruin the best of you and me. I just wanna be free to be the best part of me. Don't watch me drown. Show me love when I am down. And now we need equality. Let me tell you about my brother called Ray. Now down here in the islands, Ray is Ray. But back home, his identity, his birthright is out of sight. 'Cause all you see is white light. You never saw the man, you never saw his heart. 'Cause all you ever saw was the black part. I'm a black man, the best you ever known. Let me step up on this microphone and take a seat on my throne. There's other black kings who don't submit to the system and don't need to wear the ring. Power to the people, got my mind on blast. About to take this message to the street, fast like flash. And in the dash we gon' flash, breaking down these barriers to race that's been dwindling our past. I just wanna be free to be the best part of me. Don't watch me drown. Show me love when I am down. And now we need equality. Our hearts are so deceitful. We don't realize that we're all equal. But everyone's repairable with a gift that's a miracle. There's a crown of great renown in the book that's upside down. So open up the page, dissipate the rage. It's time to engage. It's time to engage. I just wanna be free to be the best part of me. Don't watch me drown. Show me love when I am down. And now we need equality. Yeah. Suck it like, yeah. Let me break it down.